What is going on, 5'9 gamers? My name is Joe Wags, and today I will be your host for your favorite podcast, the Dokkan Battle podcast. Our podcast is presented to you by 5'9 Gaming, your source for all things gaming, anime, and entertainment related. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things 5'9. Today's episode is 89 Back to the Future Saga. Today, we've got a lot going on. We've got Tanabata. We've got anniversary coming up for Global. So to help me talk about all of this fun stuff, we have got a few wonderful guests today. It's finally nice to have our boy back. Our resident evil master, Sunblade, is returning to us again. How are you doing, Sunblade?
Hola, chicos. ¿Cómo está? Te quiero Dokkan Battle. Well, I've been to Spain last week, so I had to do this. Shout out to the Spanish Dokkan Battle community. Yeah, I'm good. I'm great. I'm enjoying Dokkan right now with the new unit. Amazing.
Very nice. Now, Sunblade, I have to ask if you're feeling all right, because the last time you were on the podcast, I know your forehead is large, but it was looking exceptionally large. You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing great. The larger it is, the stronger my power level is in Dokkan. So.
Oh, I see. So as you link level, the forehead grows. I see how this works.
Right.
So,
yes.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, next up, we have got the Super Battle Road King himself, but today I'm going to call him the World Tournament King because he just finished a 12-hour grind on the World Tournament. The Masked Ningen, how are you doing?
Yo, how's it going, everybody? That's right, I am here, fresh off of fresh probably not the right word, but straight after a 12-hour World Tournament stream. It was actually really fun. A lot of bizarre chat about various things, a lot of World Tournament grinding. It was pretty good for considering all, like, it was playing the World Tournament, which is one of my least favorite things to do in the game, but you gotta get it done if you want those rewards. So it was a fun stream, and I'm very excited to be here because there's a lot of stuff going on this week, so I did not want to miss this one.
Don't worry, Ningen, we've got a whole block put aside to talk about your favorite mode, the World Tournament, a little bit later. So Just hold on to those thoughts and we'll jump into that. All right, so last but not least, we've got the man who is going to find a way to argue that Tech Ultimate Gohan is better than the father-son Galick gun unit. Minato, how are you doing?
No. Don't put that on me. Oh, they're gonna attack me. No. They're gonna come for me. Oh, it's over.
Get your pitchforks. We're going after Minato.
Why would you say that? Oh my goodness.
I know. I apologize. I'm putting words in your mouth, Minato. You haven't been talking about Tech Ultimate Gohan as much this week, so I'll go easy on you.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's hop into things here. So on JP, we have got Tanabata. It's finally here. We've got some stuff going on. So we're going to start with the big topic at hand here. And we've got this new father-son Galick gun, not dual Dokkan Battle, but just dual unit, joint forces unit. They're joint forces, right? Are they?
Yes.
Are they? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. They're not in exchange. They're joint forces. All right. So first I want to start off with how were the summons? And just your take on the unit. So, Minato, as a JP player, we will start with you on this one.
Well, the units.
First, tell us about your summons. Tell everyone about your summons.
I am 1,700 into the banner without them, so that's pretty cool, right? It's really fun when you get like every single featured unit multiple times, and you don't have the new unit, right? It's like, oh wow, it's pretty good. You're back. Hello, right? So yeah, summons haven't been going that great, unfortunately, right? But the unit itself is pretty good. I think they are the best unit in the game. If we're just gonna put that out there, my opinion. But yep.
I can see that. Sunblade, I hear your summons were almost as good as Minato's. How is your summons going here?
Yeah, as of right now, I've been like 1900. Into the banner 1900 stones. I put them at 1800, I think. Pretty annoyed by that. Again, we need a new pity system or a pity system at all. Yeah, I'm pretty frustrated because it happened on the last day of my vacation. It was so great, and the last day was so bad because of it. But yeah, that's how it is. It is a gacha. I gotta deal with it. It is what it is. About the unit, yes, they are the best unit in the game. But people should stop complaining about the 7 years now. They are still great. So yeah, don't slander them.
Sunblade, you said that this unit is number 1, which means that they're better than the year 7, so it means that the year 7 suck, right? Because that's how it works, right? That's what they told me in the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Just asking you.
Yeah, from my understanding, global players should skip the anniversary banners and just save for this at this point, right? We only got to wait till December. I mean, you know.
Come on, the banner really, really, really sucks. So no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute, but yeah, anything else you wanted to add, Sunblade, on the unit?
Yeah. Again, they're the best unit in the game right now. Like, you can put them in whatever event and they're doing great. Guard in slot 1 is great. I think they're never going to age. So yeah. I invested 1,800 stones to get them, but I think in the end it was worth it. So
Please, next multi. I'm praying.
Minato's probably pulling right now as we speak, right? Minato, you got to hold your summons up to the camera and let everyone watch you pull this.
If I do a multi, I'll hold it to the camera. What about that?
That's the way to go.
Negan,
I'm going to jump to you next because I think you're a global player, but I know you got your JP side, and I'm pretty sure you've actually done videos on this unit. So what?
I have.
Tell us about your summons and then your take.
Yeah, I have my JP side account. I don't really use it very much. In fact, the last time I logged into it was probably when the free-to-play superhero Gohan was released, and I farmed him up, rainbowed him. And I think the last time I logged in before that was probably the anniversary on JP. So I don't use my account that often. And the few stones that I have got here and there from logging in, I was saving towards the potential future superhero stuff. But I saw the animations and everything for this unit and read what they did and all that kind of stuff. I want to say, funnily enough, I was one of the first people that I saw on Twitter saying, everyone's saying it should be Vegeta Blue or Sword of Hope Trunks, but I actually think it would be pretty cool if it was Father Son Galick gun. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I thought, you know what, why not? I'll jump in and summon. If nothing else, it gets me an extra video today because I could just do a summon video. And yeah, I pulled them in 250 stones because I literally had 300 stones on the account. So yeah, I pulled them in 250 stones. I got a Vegeta Blue fusion. I thought it was a nothing animation, but obviously because I wasn't really paying attention and the text is in Japanese, it was actually the like give it to me now thing. Because the group of people that flew in, I can't even remember who it was. And yeah, I got the Vegeta Blue animation. So obviously it was a 1 in, was it 4 shot to be the one that I wanted it to be. And it was them. And it was pretty crazy. The unit is insanely good, even at 55%. Considering this video is going to go up, because it hasn't gone up at the time of recording, but the video is going to go up after hits come out. I took them at 55% into the Red Zone Bojack stage, which was the next stage on my JP account that I'd been unable to beat with the team that was previously my best team in the game so far on my JP account, because it's a lot weaker than my global account. And I literally did it on the first try. So the unit is incredibly good. I love the animations. The category that they lead is ridiculous. Yeah, just what a unit. So global, I wouldn't skip the anniversary. I know we're going to get into probably more details about this kind of stuff, but like obviously the anniversary units are going to get power crept eventually. But even if you want to say that Trunks and Vegeta are better than them, which I feel like the main thrust of that argument just comes from the fact that they're better than them defensively. So obviously when it comes to difficult content, they're going to get you killed less. So that probably in a lot of people's eyes makes them better. But the real point is the fact that those 3 units are still in the highest tier of units in the game, and everything else is below them. So even if Trunks and Vegeta, you think they're better, or you think the 7 years are better, doesn't really matter because they are the only units that are on that level. They are the 3 best units in the game. So I did see a lot of global people being almost disappointed in my chat earlier, saying that, you know, they've been super hyped for the 7-year Alars to release on global, which is coming out like next week. And now a unit has just come out on JP that now everybody is saying is better than the anniversary LRs. But honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Those 2 units are still great. I'm still hyped for that. I know we're going to talk about anniversary stuff at some point, but yeah, they're great. So love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the natural progression of things. The gacha wouldn't be doing its job if the units didn't get better the longer the game was out. So that's just the natural progression. And in case it wasn't clear, when I was telling global players to skip the anniversary and save for this, I was joking. Like, you should all summon. 7-year, like, it doesn't mean that the 7-year anniversary cards aren't fantastic. They're amazing. They're gonna feel really good when we play them. I'm excited to play them.
Oh yes.
In terms of the father-son Galick gun unit, I've just watched some videos, some showcases, and they do seem absolutely busted. They seem virtually unkillable, and they're not as offensive as the 7 years. So that's something I think the 7 years will have over them, is that they're more offensive. But defense is really the king in this game, because you can be as offensive as you want, but if you're just getting one shot in red zone, doesn't matter. So, and then I know, Ningen, you mentioned that their category is really good. We're going to jump in and talk specifically about the category, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back here. Minato made a tweet earlier saying that he thinks the unit could be really busted because they have limited categories. And I said, Minato, I tweeted back. I said, they could be on the new really busted category that they designed. And sure enough, they designed a new busted category. I believe it is called Bond of Father and Son. Is that correct? Is that the translation?
Bond of parent and child.
Bond of parent and child. Okay. Yeah. So Minato, can you just give us an overview about what's on the category, just so, for people unfamiliar with how busted this category is?
Yeah. Let me do this multi first.
Oh yeah. we got to check out the multi. Get that multi in.
Let's see what I get here.
It'd be cool. To be honest, it would be pretty cool if you pulled them on the.
If you pulled them right now,
on
exactly.
the episode, that'd be pretty sick. But
Trunks and Chaozu.
Trunks, that's the dynamic duo.
Iconic duo.
Yeah, I love that episode.
Iconic duo. Sometimes they have those hidden combinations you didn't realize.
I'm just gonna skip through this multi, man. It's so bad. Oh, I hate this game.
I mean, it could always lead us into another discussion about how Dokkan needs a true pity system, but
Oh yeah.
we have these disasters. Let's hope that my anniversary luck is good. Little side note here, my current rank is 777, so I'm gonna keep my rank there when I'm summoning. That's the plan.
Yeah.
I am. It's a lucky number. All right, Minato, you got that category up? Or are you summoning again?
The category is really good. I think the category is quite powerful. The thing is that it's just basically Goku family plus Vegeta family, then all those duo Goku and Vegeta LRs just together, and then it just busted, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
that's a pretty wide roster.
It's a stupid category. It's a stupid good category. I don't know what they're... Honestly, I don't know what they were thinking when they made it. To be fair, I did think that they would make this category before Dragon Ball Superhero Gohan. I didn't really expect an LR like this to get it, which makes sense, right? But I was thinking it would be for that Gohan, right? Because obviously he's a new movie character. The best way to do it would be giving him a category. The reason why he went there was for Pan, but I guess I'm going on a sidetrack thing, right? I think that obviously the category is just too good, right? Just every good unit in the game is basically there.
And then which units get the full 200? What's the 30% on this leader skill?
It is the Battle of Fate category.
Okay.
Now, I would say that there are some nice units there, but most of the units that are really good are on only 170%. But for example, we have all the LR Super Saiyan 4s. We have LR Kaioken Goku, Namek Goku, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure the Battle of Fate category is basically every saga that ends, the main characters.
Yeah, it's
fighting,
like the
right?
final boss, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like fighting the final boss, everyone in that fight specifically, right? Which, if you watch Dragon Ball, you know what that is. So I don't really have to explain it, right?
Yeah, because it's like the final boss. So for example, Vegito versus Buhan, they're not on there. It's the Kid Buu versus Super Saiyan 3 Goku is the last fight. So
yep.
I was actually surprised. I completely forgot because obviously when you think Battle of Fate, it makes you think of those epic final battles, which I know this is, but because I don't and don't really care about GT, I completely forgot the fact that the LR Super Saiyan 4s would be on there. So I'm pretty sure, isn't this the first team that both of them get the 200% lead, the STR Goku, STR Vegeta and AGL Goku? Because they both had 200% leads already, but they weren't both on both of them, whereas they're both on this one. So I did run that as a rotation in, I think, my original video that I did. Because, those two together are crazy. But
Yeah, it sounds pretty busted. And even if you're 170 is still a very sufficient leader skill. So with the quality of unit on there, like you can run full 170, you're not really missing out. And then if you get the 200 on a unit or two, I would just consider that a bonus at this point. Sounds very good. I mean, because when you're a leader, you've got two of the basically the best unit in the game. Like the team's gonna start off really strong. So okay, does anybody else have comments on the category? Okay,
Very
I think
good
it's pretty
category.
basic. Yeah, it's just busted, right? Like very good. Go when you got Goku family, Vegeta family, and yeah, it's all combined in the one. It's very, very good. All right. Now, I think someone commented earlier that the banner is not good. Does someone want to just give us an overview of the banner, and then do we want to give advice on whether players should summon or not on the banner? Sunblade, Sunblade, you go ahead.
I'll go ahead here. So, I don't have to say much. I think it's sufficient if I say, yeah, Goku Black is on there, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku is on there, any previous Tanabata LRs on there. I think Kale and Caulifla is on there as well, the tech one, and STR Kefla. So, 10 featured units, including the 2 new units. When I saw the banner, I was like, what the hell is going on here? It is that bad? Where is Ginyu? But yeah, I summoned nonetheless and got punished. Not as hard as Minato. But yeah. It's a pretty bad banner. Don't skip the 7-year anniversary banners for that. No way.
Yeah, the banner is actually trash. Like there's some good units on it, but I think the reason why it's so bad is because everybody's expectations for it were so much higher. Because the previous year's Tanabata banner, not to say that it was a great banner, but it had specific units on it that we then assumed those time slots would be repeated. Because I made a video like predicting what I think the banner would look like. And last year's banner, if you just go by like the time slots, had the first Dokkan Fest to release after the anniversary, and it had the New Year's dual Dokkan Fest units on it. So in theory, if they'd done the same thing again this year, that means the banner would have had Ginyu, Physical Super Saiyan 2 Goku, and STR Kid Buu. So those 3 units on a banner with this new LR, like this would have been a must-summon banner, and then they give us this instead. It's quite shocking. I can't believe Goten and Trunks are still on it. Like... That's crazy to me.
My theory is that Dokkan, they're very smart, and they know that they just dropped basically the best unit in the game, and people are going to summon on this regardless. So they probably felt they could get away with throwing all these junk units on there, and people are still summoning. Yep.
Well, this is the literal example, even though this is a Dokkan Fest exclusive LR, so it's slightly different. But this banner is literally the classic example of a legendary summon banner where, well, maybe not the only one, but like the only unit you actually want when you're summoning is the new unit. Like Tech Kale and Caulifla are still pretty good. The AGL Goku Black, I think, is being massively underrated, but he's obviously not great. Like the unit you want to get is the LR. But
I was waiting for this.
But yeah, the banner is just bad. So.
Yeah.
All right, well let's let that lead us into the banner unit Goku Black, because it is the next topic on our list here.
Then.
So
let's fight.
So all right, Ningen, why don't you start us off? Talk about the AGL Goku Black.
He's all right. That's literally it. He's okay. People saying that he was trash. He's not trash. He's okay. But I wouldn't even necessarily go as far as to say he was good. I'm just saying he's okay. But if you say that he's trash, you're wrong. Basically, there you go. So he obviously the biggest problem with him at the moment is that he needs more for the teams that you want to run him on. Like he needs a really good runnable Goku Black or Zamasu or Merge Zamasu or something that has those links that he has, plus like big bad bosses. Because when you actually have him on a rotation where he has those links active and he's at his full build up from his passive, he can be at like 500k defense after super attacking, which for a unit who is just a support unit, quote unquote, like that is pretty good. Now, obviously, not every unit is going to be good in every event. Red Zone, especially some of the later stages, are very tough right at the beginning. Because I know a lot of people's biggest criticism of him is that he's a unit that needs to get hit a couple of times in order to build up his defense and actually max out his passive. But he doesn't really have any defensive tech. Like, he doesn't have guard. He doesn't have damage reduction. He doesn't start off with particularly high defense. But, I mean, the way you would use this unit if you're playing smart is you just get him to take some hits in like the first turn and then you float him off. Because even after he's taken like 2 or 3 hits, post super attack, his defense will be enough that he can then take the other couple of normal attacks that he needs to take to then get his passive to be fully maxed out. So I think a lot of people, this happens with units all the time, and it is fair, I guess, in a way, to rate units like that. But like, this unit needs a little bit of help, and then he'll probably be pretty good. Whereas at the moment, he's just okay. And I feel like people see these units that need a little something extra, like a new, better link partner, and then they'll be good. But because they don't have that right now, they just go, oh, they're trash. Like, which, yeah, I mean, he's not great. He could have been better designed, but I don't think he's trash. So, there you go.
Kind of slander him now.
Yeah, Minato, if you want to start your slander, go ahead.
Okay, I'm not actually going to slander him. I think that in his juiced up situation where you have his links active and, you know, you have him fully built up and he can look pretty solid, right? Because he has multiplicative buffs. The issue is with his design itself. Again, like Negan said, I think that a unit that starts off with low defense and then has to take a lot of attacks, this is not good design. It's stupid design.
Stupid. Yeah.
It's like the worst design they've ever done in the game, in my opinion, right? Especially if they don't have something like guard or damage reduction, right? I like his support passive, but with him being a support unit, that means you're going to flow him off, which means that he's going to have way less opportunities to build up. And that's not good, right? Especially for a red zone. I feel like if you're floating this guy off as a floating support unit like he's intended, then it's less likely you're going to get all those hits you need. And then by the time you get to the end of the fights where they actually attack a lot, you won't be built up, and then he'll take a lot of damage, right? And along with that, we're comparing this as a brand new unit. Let's compare him to like the androids 19 and 20 or you know the Rakuman Godo, even Berta and Jace, right? They have like all this defensive tech but are also kind of like supporting, or you know, Rakuman Godo like stun, lower attack, seal, right? This guy does seal, but like I just don't think he does enough like special stuff. He's really just pure stats, and a unit just having pure stats means that they're more likely to age out quicker than other units. Now, when we get like S tier Rose, you have them together. This guy has like 500k defense plus super attack. He's gonna look good, right? For sure. But I think when you're actually gonna be using this guy in like 3 months from now, he's not gonna be as good as, you know, as looking at him in a showcase between 2 support units, right? That's just my opinion. These can change. Maybe the Goku Black and Zamasa team comes out and they're like the best team in the game for like 3 years or something crazy, right? Obviously, that's a hyperbole, but you guys get. I think people may get my point with that, right? I just think that units should offer more than just stats nowadays, right?
Yeah.
If you look at his passive, he just does nothing, right? And I hate that he has super effective. Like,
yeah, why?
He's a support unit. He shouldn't.
Yeah.
Who cares about his damage, right? He's providing the damage with the other units on rotation. But that's really it. He could look nice for sure, but I just think that compared to the other units, his longevity won't be as long, and I think that's a really important thing to consider on when you're summoning for a unit. How long will they be relevant for? And this guy, I don't know, right?
Well, the other thing I will say to that, though, remember, because you said it yourself, right, is like when we compare him to Rakuman Guldo and like Android 19 and 20, those 2 units do have 200% lead teams, and he doesn't. So all of the stats that we've been talking about are on a 170 team. So when he does get a 200% lead, those are obviously going to be higher.
Things could get crazy for him. I agree.
And like I said, like to draw from your point, that's what I said. I mean, people could take it as a cheeky dig, but it's kind of what I meant it as, is you're just supposed to play smart with him. If you go into an event and in your mind, you're just like, well, he's a support unit, so he has to go in slot 3, then you're not using him correctly. Like if on turn 1, there's 3 attacks in slot 2, you put him in slot 2. You don't just put him in slot 3 because he's a support unit. Like you let him get those hits in the first turn, and then you float him off. Like that's what you should do. But if you stay stuck to, oh well, he has to be in slot 3 all the time, then obviously, yeah, he's potentially not going to get his build up before you get to the difficult stages. But yeah, I think he can look okay. But like I said, I'm not even going to go as far as to say he's good. I just think he's okay, and all the people that are saying he's trash, I do not agree.
The thing is that you build teams with rotations in mind, right? That's how the game works now. We know how rotations work. Unless you're a new player, right? So you're gonna deliberately mess up your rotations to get his attacks, which is fair, so that he won't get killed at the end of the events. But let's say you're in red zone Broly, he's in 7th slot, and then you're already at the difficult stage 2, right? Red zone just starts off hard already, right? And
Oh, yeah.
that Broly's like tech, for example, and you're just kind of screwed over. Like, oh, I'm gonna put this unit in front of all these attacks, right? It just doesn't work like that sometimes. You could say, oh, just put him where these attacks are, and he's good, and like the first stage, but it's not always gonna pan out that way. You know, the game loves to screw us over. I'm sure many of you guys experienced that.
Well, the thing is, with the red zone in particular, though, that applies to even good units. Because, like, if you get, like, your double leader and then some other random unit rotation as the first turn, that can potentially kill your entire run. So,
Exactly,
sometimes
right?
RNG does work against you, but I don't think that's not necessarily the direct fault of the unit themselves. But yeah, I do see what you mean. Like, if you... It's possible that you get put into a situation where you just can't actually make him work. And obviously, that is not a good aspect of his design. So.
And it's this type of design, it happens more often with these type of characters than it does with characters that are a little different, or at least have some of that defensive tech. Like, Rikuma and Goto have the guard to help them build up their passive. So you're like, okay, well, I could take those attacks, right? Even if I haven't built up in like the 2nd or 3rd phase, maybe they're in the 7th slot. Or, you know, something where they have, like, you know, a unit that actually evades and builds up their attacking defense, right? Because they actually don't take damage in that evasion, right? But this unit has to directly take those hits. It's like, you know, the physical beers kind of thing, Luke, Hulk, and Goku. We saw how those characters aged out a little quickly because they have that type of mechanic.
Sunblade, do you have anything to add on AGL Goku Black? Or did they cover it all for you?
Okay, so they covered a lot, and Minato, like right at the end of his first part, he said it, like, why is he super effective against all types? It doesn't make sense. He is a support unit. You put him in a 3rd slot most of the time. He should have had guard after the 5th hit. That's it. Like, that doesn't make any sense, and this pretty much is proof to me that Akatsuki doesn't play test these units. They just just do stuff, or maybe this unit was finished 2 years ago. I don't know. Like, what is this? Like, I'm hurt because I'm a massive Goku Black fan, just as Vilify, and they published this unit. Like, what the hell?
See, again, my theory is they don't play with the unit. They calculate the max stats of the unit. They're like, okay, like, what's their best rotation? Look at these numbers. They're good. That's my theory.
We have to send Goresh to the Akatsuki HQ.
We need to find out. Yes. We'll find out.
I mean, I agree with a lot of things that were said. I feel like when you look at this unit, like, fully built up and you really dress him up with, like, the units around him, he can actually look pretty solid, but overall his design is poor. Once again, being a support unit that needs to get hit, that doesn't have good defense turn 1, you're going to get crushed in red zone turn 1. Even if you have that hypothetical first turn, you put him in slot 2 to take 3 hits. Well, what if one of those is a super attack? You might be getting crushed there. That being said, not every unit is built for red zone, and I just feel like this is one of those units that isn't built for red zone. I think you can definitely get him through red zone with some luck and some proper planning, but I would say Extreme Super Battle Road and red zone, like those events where you can get just ridiculously hit hard turn 1, is where he's going to struggle. Now, the seal would help him in Extreme Super Battle Road, but I think in most content in the game, that's the other thing we think about. We always talk about, like, red zone viability, which is valid because it's the hardest content in the game. But there is a ton of the game that is not that you can still have fun with these units and play with them. So if you're a Goku Black fan, it doesn't mean you can't do, like, legendary Vegeta event runs or things like that and just have fun with the unit, right? But in terms of viability, it really doesn't matter what his longevity is, because y'all are summoning for the Dokkan Fest LR anyways, who is the most viable unit in the game for a long time to come. So you're just getting this guy packaged along with it. So if you got him, you got him, and have some fun with it, right?
I do agree with that. I would just keep in mind that for future content, like, say we got like a legendary Frieza event, it's probably going to be scaled up to around red zone level, right? So if a unit doesn't perform that well in red zone, then it's not going to perform well in those future events, right? Is a point I would like to make. But if you're just, you know, just casual having fun, the Goku Black could be a nice unit, and at least he helps synergize your team together, which is the point of him. The issue is Future Saga is not that great right now, but worldwide
Yeah.
celebration.
Yeah, there's more coming. There's definitely more coming, and there's EZAs we haven't gotten yet, and things that we'll talk about here. But yeah, as the team gets better, he might become more viable, which you already mentioned as well. So let's talk more about what is going to happen for this team. And what we know is coming are Tech Vegito and STR Rose are getting EZAs. Now, on 5-9, we do have a video coming, dropping very soon. Probably by the time you're hearing this, it might be out already, or maybe, I think it will be. But we have the fan-made cards again. So if you want to see if you submitted for that and you want to see if your fan-made card is featured on our video, please check out that video over on 5-9. I want to get everyone's takes on these EZAs, if you're excited for them, maybe what you hope they're going to be. So Sunblade, we'll start with you this time. What are your thoughts on the Vegito and Rose EZAs? Are they very anticipated for you? Do you think they're going to be good? What do you think?
Okay, so I'm just going to throw this out there. I believe they are the most anticipated EZAs of all time.
Yep.
Well, at least for TURs. I don't know about LRs at the moment, but yeah, they are very, very, very hype, and I didn't expect them to EZA now. Because last time I was on a podcast, I said that Goku Black is going to EZA, and I just finished him 2 level 10 links, and now I'm annoyed. But it doesn't really matter. He's prepared now, but Tech Vegeta Blue, for me, he's at 55% because this unit wasn't featured for a very long time. Yeah, I'm going to buy him with coins. He has a very special place in my heart because I was a global player in the past, and he was pretty much my first SSR when I played the game. And yeah, I hope that he is going to be busted. He probably will be. He doesn't need a lot, but yeah, Akatsuki shouldn't hold back with him. But Rose is a thing too. Rose is awesome. I have him rainbow. Luckily, hi Minato, you have him at 79%. I know. Yeah, I hope.
He's never featured.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Same thing with Vegeta Blue. Yes. I hope that in secret he will be even better. He has support. Maybe Akatsuki can give them like key +3 attack 50% for extreme class. That would be crazy, but I hope for things like that. So yeah.
Cool. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, enough from me.
Okay. Minato, what's your take here?
So, I am actually more excited for Rose than Vegito, which is probably going to be shocking to people. People are going to be like, but Vegito is so strong. And it's like, yeah, that's fair. And I'm a big Vegito fan, but I think Rose, when they released, I personally thought Rose was better as an overall unit. Just because he did like everything at the time. Supported, he had good stats, the key was so strong, and nice leader skill, great link set, good amount of teams, right? This Rose was a pretty good unit back then, I think, for sure. And I think he did outage the Vegito as well, but it doesn't really matter at this point. They're getting EZAs now, right? I think that the Rose could be an absolute monster, and I think I see like everyone talking about Vegeta Blue, but I don't see really people talking about how disgusting Rose can end up being, and he might surprise them. I wouldn't be shocked if Rose ends up being a better overall unit or something, and Vegeta is just like a better hard hitter, unit like that, right? Which was kind of how they were when they released at the, that makes sense.
Yep. Ningen, how about you?
Yeah, I will go that step further. I think if they don't mess it up, if they do it right, I think that it's very possible that STR Rose could be the best TUR EZA in the game. Because, like Minato said, and I've been saying this for years now, when STR Rose came out, I think he was the best TUR in the game. He might not have been, quote unquote, the best TUR, but in terms of like the most useful, because Minato touched on it, but like you can put him on any team that he can be run on because he supports, he hits pretty, like this is obviously back when he came out, so you got to consider what the meta was like at the time, but he supports, he hit pretty hard, he had decent defense for the time that he released, he just did everything, and obviously had a good link set as well, so like he was really, really good. And yeah, I think that he's one of those units that when he gets his EZA, it's going to go back to the way it was when he first came out, where he's essentially going to be like a must run on every single team that he fits on. So he is probably my most anticipated EZA outside of maybe Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. And when it comes to Tech Vegito Blue, I was never a huge fan of Tech Vegito Blue just because when I first got him, I always remember that for whatever reason, I used to just get super unlucky with his RNG to get additional super attacks. So obviously, the less additionals you get, the less impressive he looks. So I was never like a huge fan. Obviously, he doesn't have the counters or anything. So even after he came out, even though he was supposed to be like the updated version, I always kind of preferred the physical Vegito Blue over him. And again, that was, just down to personal experience. But he has the opportunity to be really, really good. But he, like Minato said, like he's that hard hitter unit. Like the idea is when you get his EZA, unless they do give him some kind of support, he's the kind of unit that you're going to want to run on main rotation. And he's there to do a bunch of damage. And once he gets a bunch of supers off, he's probably going to have pretty good defense. But that's his main role. Whereas, like we said, Rose, you're just going to use him on every team that he fits on because he helps out the team so much. So, yeah, I'm like super looking forward to his EZA. Those are two units that I already have like fully link leveled. A lot of the time I save units until JP like confirms that they're getting their EZA and then I start link leveling them on global. But those ones I just did straight away because we did actually get the Rose and the AGL and the physical Vegito Blue and Rose. We got their EZAs as a global first. So I thought there might be a possibility that they do that again. So I made sure to get those two link leveled like basically straight away. So I am very much looking forward to seeing what they can do.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to say. One is both of their stickers are absolute fire. I've been showing them on my camera. They have very fire stickers, some of the best ones in the game. But what I'll say is this, with Vegito, what I'm hoping for is his big thing is he attacks a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want him to have a really fat, like start a turn attack and defense, like give me 150% or something, start a turn. We already know he stacks his stats up as he attacks. I would love to see him make him busted and just give him like stacking, like infinitely stacking defense. Then he's going to be looking really crazy. Rose, I think he just like you guys, he's the one I always liked more in the past and I used more in the past because he was a support unit. I actually barely used Tech Vegito Blue. I didn't use him a lot, so that I kind of hope they make him good. Now, something that they do with these counterpart units, sometimes they could possibly EZA them and actually align them more and make them similar. So what if they added support onto Vegito and they added additionals onto Goku Black? I think that could be very interesting. Because, Vegito's whole thing is he is a super class lead. And then, Goku Black's an extreme class lead. But what if they gave them both support? I think that could be really cool as well. It's one of those things where it's really up to Dokkan. Is it Team A or is it Team B doing the EZA, right? Like, how good are they going to be? We just have to wait and see. I'm excited for both. Yeah, Minato.
Yeah, one thing I would say is that I would prefer they focus on their strengths rather than give them stuff that each other would do, right? Because Vegito's going to be an offensive god and then Rose is going to be a defensive support. But then if you give Rose like offensive abilities, that's kind of like what I was talking about with the age of Goku Black, whereas like, why does he have super effective instead of something defensive, right? That's how I like my units though. I would rather them be hyper focused on like a certain thing rather than them do kind of everything, unless it's like, like anniversary LRs or something, right? And in that situation, they should do everything. But I do hope they make these guys broken as well. They deserve it. We've been waiting for a very long time, I feel like, for these guys.
The one thing I wanted to say, I don't know how, like, we don't want to obviously go on this for ages and ages, but the thing that I'm very interested to see is what are they going to do with their leader skill? Because
I've got this. I've got this. It's they're gonna do 150 to stats, and they're gonna keep the requirement that you have to have all the different typings.
Yep. See, the thing is, when we discussed these units ages ago, because I'm sure we've discussed them on a previous episode before. That's exactly what I said, right? Is keep the restrictions so you can give them a higher percentage.
Yep.
But if honestly now with 200% leads being a thing, I honestly think I don't think they will do this. But if they really wanted to push the boat out, if you keep that restriction that it has to be a unit of every typing, make it like 170 or even 160, because no one really wants to run 150 leads anymore because we're in the 200% meta now. So yeah, if you keep that restriction, I think they could quite easily make it 160 or 170. Because you think like, say Tech Vegito Blue, if you don't have the anniversary LRs, you could run the anniversary gods as a friend. And because Vegito Blue is on beyond Super Saiyan and Kamehameha, so he gets their 200% lead. and then you could literally build his team as a super type unit of each typing that is on beyond Super Saiyan and Kamehameha, and then you kind of almost have yourself a double 200% team, but not quite. And it restricts you to that one unit of each typing, which is a little bit annoying when it comes to team building. No one likes to be restricted, but if it means you get that bigger percentage out of it, I think that would be awesome. So I don't expect it to be that high, but I feel like if they keep the restriction in, you could have an argument that they could make it that high without it being like too crazy.
I was about to say that, yeah, Ningen is right. It definitely makes more sense to give them 170, but it's Akatsuki here. And we saw on stream how they play the game. They are not having those thoughts. Like, I wouldn't say they are bad at Dokkan, but come on. They are going to do 150 because it's Akatsuki. And it's okay.
Yeah, I think the way they look at it is there's a trade-off in that because you have such a vast array of units, like you're not limited to a category. Yes, you're going to be limited to one per typing, but the pool of units is so large, and I think they kind of treat the same as like how they do mono teams. They've never, like outside of the actual mono meta, once they've started the category meta, the mono in like full extreme and full super teams have always been set at a lower rate. Yeah. So that's why I think they're going to keep it at 150. Now, I could realistically see them just take the requirement off and just like flat out be 150 to all super and then 150 to all extreme, which I think that would be decent as well. But yeah, I think that's their logic behind it, is just your pool of units is so large, they want to give you a lower leader skill. And I think they're really meant to be like cards to help newer players that like don't have good category setup, where they can just run like a more vast array of things under a lower leader skill. I think that's their logic, but I could be wrong. All right, well, let's move along here. So that's Vegeta and Goku Black Rose. Now we've got STR Trunks and Mai. This is one that it was on my radar as a possibility, but it definitely wasn't like the LR EZA I was fully expecting. So we want to get some predictions on this unit. So Sunblade, we'll start off with you on this one. STR Trunks and Mai, what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. So pre-EZA, I would say they are one of the worst LRs in the game. I can't even remember the last time I ran them in a team. They were heavily focused, or they are heavily focused on a time travelers team, right?
Yep.
So what I would love is to either get rid of that, and to make them usable everywhere, or make them super busted on time travelers, like make them a support and give them guard, or give them a great chance to dodge when all of the allies are time travelers. I don't know. It's not that hard to save that unit, but I'm worried because their basic kit is so bad. In my opinion, I don't like them, but yeah. Either get rid of that restriction, make it better, or make them super crazy with that restriction. Give them everything they need on Time Traveler's team, and they're good.
Yeah, for sure. I think because Mai is a part of the card, I definitely could see there being support, because Mai's typically our support unit, so definitely could be a possibility. Ningen, what are you thinking?
I think the main thing for them is just to either take away the restriction for the dodge part of their passive, or just make it so they're much better defensively. Because like the only time I think I've ever used them was I used them for the no item run for future Super Battle Road, because they have that dodge and stun, which is obviously a useful mechanic to have. But then in the second fight against Cell, because he's not a Future Saga unit, they can't dodge against him. So then they all of a sudden become a massive liability because their defense isn't good enough. So what I would mostly like to see is they get rid of the restriction for them to be able to dodge. And if they don't, then they need to beef up their defense quite significantly. Because, like I say, if you end up going up against an enemy where you can't get that dodge and you can't stun, which obviously you can't do in most of the harder content, then they're just not good enough, like, defensively. So that is the main thing I would like to see. But with the fact that they have stun and dodging and stuff like that, I feel like they are a unit that one of their best places they can shine is in Super Battle Road. So they definitely need to make those parts of their kit more useful, I think. But yeah, otherwise I would agree. They're definitely low on the tier for TURs, because if you're not fighting an enemy that you can dodge, then their defense is just not good enough, and they can't stun the enemy if you're taking them into like the red zone or something. So yeah, they need to up that defense quite significantly.
All right, Minato, hop in, Minato.
I'm laughing because he said T-Wars.
Wait, did I? Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, you did.
There you go. They're the LR that is probably
He-
closest
he-
to a
he
TUR. baby,
he
so-
feels like a TUR, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
I mean,
All
we
right,
have
Minato.
TURs nowadays that are better than them. So I mean,
yeah,
you know,
that is true. That is very true.
Uh,
I think the thing with this unit is that I just said I like units to play a specific role, but sometimes they get too specific with these units, right? So this
Yeah.
unit wants to be in a really specific situation to be really great. I think, like, honestly, just get rid of the Future Saga category enemy restriction. Let them get key 6 and a high chance to evade just whenever. That would be really good, right? I think it's fine if they keep the buffs being on a time travelers team, right? I think that's okay. Maybe, you know what they could do? What I said is a lot of my units have this, but give them the scouter, right? The scouter
Yeah.
effect I think could be really good on them, right? And that would add a lot of viability. Like, give them the scouter and then make them stack defense, and then they're good, right?
Yeah.
With the high chance to evade in the key, I think that's really all you have to do to make the unit really good. Just give them busted stuff like that, right? Stacking defense is just an ability that just like no matter you give that unit that ability and they just become like 3 times better, right? A lot of Trunks units, like units with Trunks on it, do have stacking defense. So I think that's something that they could definitely give this LR to, right? Because it's a common theme with Trunks units. I think that is fair to say.
Yeah, I think giving them, like, right now, I think on their super attack effect, they just have like a medium chance to guard, I think, or not guard, but stun on their 12 key, and then a high chance on their 18. I think you can make it a high chance to stun on both, and then give them at least a 1-turn attack and defense buff on super. I think would be really, really good. I know you guys have been talking a lot about that restriction for the dodge chance. I think one way they could fix it, because I feel like they're going to keep that, that Future Saga enemy restriction, but why not add another condition that says, maybe if your full rotation is Future Saga or your full rotation is Time Travelers, then they also get it. So give them another way to achieve that, maybe instead of just cutting it all together, which I think it would be fine if they cut it all together. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just they're going to determine what they're going to give them, but they just definitely need more stats. And I think a little bit less restrictions, or if you keep the restriction, make them really, really busted in that situation, right?
I honestly think that they could get a great chance to stun on their 18 key, because we've been seeing a lot of units get that great chance to stun and then make the 12 key the high chance. I think that would be something that they could do. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't make them like busted, right? Because I think just a super battle road, which this is a super battle road design unit, right? So
yeah,
that makes sense, right? But I just want to give them some red zone long term viability, right? In terms of like longer events or like legendary events, right?
Yeah. The other thing I could see them doing, I wouldn't be a fan of it, but they really like to sometimes on these stun or seal units, they like to give them stats when they're attacking an enemy that's already stunned or whatever. So I could see them saying that, like, if they're attacking a stunned enemy, maybe guarantee crit or get a big attack or defense buff. I could see them doing that. I'm not a fan of it because you're like, there's so many events where you can't stun. So you wouldn't be able to see it. But in terms of Super Battle Road, that could actually be quite busted if maybe they guarantee crit on a stunned enemy or something. You never know, right? All right. So next up with Tanabata, we have got the wish strips. So we'll just do a quick little go around of who you might recommend people pick up with the wish strips. So maybe Minato, we'll start with you. Have you looked much at the wish strips? Do you have any recommendations for people?
Yeah, I actually looked over the whole list on a separate video too, but it's really like 3 units that I would truly recommend. It's like 3 or 4, right? I think Weirus is a really good option. Ajo going to Frieza, and then Jinembu. I think those are the 3 top picks. There's some extra stuff in there like Kuliza, right? But I think those 3 are the units you want to get because they're just the most valuable. Most of the units on this list suck at this point, just to be real. It's a terrible selection that they have, unfortunately. That's all I could say about it, right? Just straight to the point, right?
Yeah. Ningen, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't think so. I'm just having a quick look at the list again to see if there is anyone that I think was missed. The only thing I guess that, I mean, it doesn't help you now, but obviously there are a few units on here that don't have EZAs yet that I guess could be good in the future. So if you don't have them, I guess you could pick them up over some other units. I'm talking about units like the AGL, Skinny Boo. He's still okay now, but in some of the harder like ESBR stages, he's starting to take a bit of damage. The physical, the Super Saiyan Kaioken Goku, the one that came out with the Pycon, I have a feeling like in the future, because he still hasn't got one.
Right.
He could have a really strong EZA in the future, but I mean, we just don't know, right? They could not EZA for like a year, and then their EZA could suck. So I think the units that Minato mentioned are definitely ones that are worth picking up now. But if you don't have them and you don't want to pick those ones, any units that don't have an EZA yet that you don't have could be potential future winners. But yeah, if you need any of the units Minato mentioned already, I would probably take one of those, to be fair.
Sunblade, do you have any units to add?
Yeah, so Minato listed the top picks for sure. I agree with him. But the tech-based Trunks, which Dokkan awakens to the Super Saiyan Trunks from the Future Saga, he's pretty good. The Super Saiyan 2 crossover support Trunks is pretty good as well. The tech-based Vegeta is good. Kefla's EZA is good. So yeah, they are quite viable as well. And I personally like the AGL Blue Goku from the Resurrection F movie. So yeah, you have quite a few options. I have all of those rainbowed. I just bought the AGL Golden Freezers to correct some stuff from in the hidden potential system. But yeah, that's it. They should renew the list, by the way. The list sucks.
Yes.
That tech Vegeta, man, he's usable, but I just think he's so overrated. It just a sour taste in my mouth when people mention him.
Finally,
like,
somebody says it. Thank you. Thank you
it's
so much.
true. Like they should have given him. If he had like guard slot 1, he'd be like 3 times better, right? He'd be a god, right? Probably still. But it's like you put him in slot 1, then he takes a super for like 600k. Cool. And people are like double Whis with him and STR Vegeta, and he's like, he's so good. I was like, I think two last options I want to mention, I guess, is the 17s, the GT 17 and the Fighter 17. They don't have it 200% yet.
They're good.
When we get an actual like androids leader and then they get the 200%, I think they could be quite solid. So like maybe
hell yeah.
a Dokkan Fest fusing Android 17 so that unlocks their passive.
Please.
Right. That could be really sick, right? And then from there, I think that's really it, right? Like maybe it's like androids and inhuman deeds or something could be an interesting section. There are inhuman deeds, right? I don't know for sure, I guess, but I guess I could check. But yeah, I think besides those, everyone else just sucks, really. I mean,
one question is base Vegeta the int one on there?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Right.
Yeah, that's another good pick, by the way.
I think Super Saiyan 2 physical Gohan, the support, he's solid too. You know, nothing great.
Oh yeah,
but he's okay. But yeah, I think now for sure, I'm pretty confident we covered basically everyone. Definitely. And the thing is that these units are like units from like 2019 at latest, right? The oldest unit I think on this list, no, the newest unit on this list is Truth mentioned it to me, but the STR Demon King Piccolo, which was what?
Wow.
March,
Oh geez, he's old.
March of 2019. So
yeah,
they have to update this list. Like it's so stunning they didn't.
You know who could be a sleeper hit with a future EZA? That Int Demigra. Because he doesn't have an EZA yet, and he's one of the best link partners for AGL Meki Cabra, who is actually crazy good. So
he's still good for sure.
Man, I really want him to get an EZA this year, but we'll see.
one thing that I noticed, I don't know if I'm correct with this, but the Vegetas, the blue Vegetas, were on the list last year, I believe. So they changed this. They just removed them and didn't add anybody else. So
wow. So the ones that got EZAs just now that you might actually want, they took them off.
I'm pretty sure they had an EZA banner for them, right? Is that not what they did?
Wow.
No.
Oh, they didn't do an EZA banner for them.
No.
They don't. They don't do EZA banners for those units. It's only the Dokkan Fest and dollars.
Yep.
That is crazy.
Okay. That is crazy. I agree with like the units you guys are talking about. I had Janembu and Whirus at the top of my list. I think with the EZAs, there actually are some really solid options here, and I think we've shown that as much as we want the list to be updated. I think for newer players or players with not crazy boxes, there are actually some really good choices here. I think Sunblade brought up a good point because there's a lot of players that are maybe in my position where I pretty much I have the whole Tanabata thing rainbowed, like all of them rainbowed, right? So instead of instantly just going for a Kai, you might want to actually look, do you have units where you need to update their hidden potential? There's actually a lot of value there in updating hidden potential on units. So I think that's definitely something that veteran players need to look at. Don't just jump in and grab Kais right away. Look at your hidden potential. I think that's a good strat for some people. And then the other thing that we brought up that's a good point, even though there's some really bad units on there, if they don't have an EZA, there is potential. So you can always go kind of that little gamble, that future proof, but go for something that maybe hasn't EZA'd yet. Not the worst idea, right? Anything else to add on wish strips?
I would recommend Kai's regardless. I just like it's like how do I explain it? Just
to me
Kai's,
though,
I think
it's
more useful. But they give out a lot of them now, I guess. But I don't know.
Right. To me, like taking the unit, that's like saving me 5 Dragon Stones to fix hidden potential. I would rather take 5 Dragon Stones over a Kai. That's my take on it.
That's fair, right? But you're just gonna guess, and then what if the EZA sucks? Or
No. I'm talking about for fixing hidden potential.
Yeah,
That-
if you
for
know
current
there's one
EZA
that you need
units.
to fix, then it's
that's fair, right? I mean,
Yeah.
who mentioned they did Golden Frieza? Was it Ningen? I
Yeah,
think?
it was me.
Yeah.
No, it was me.
Oh, it's
Sunblade.
Sunblade. Right.
Sunblade.
There you go. Right.
Yep.
See, that's something you could do, right? Maybe I'll do that. Actually, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I went
and-
full dodge now with him, so yep.
Yeah,
That's
and
good,
it
yeah.
depends on what your Kai stash, but I'm at like almost 300 Kais, so like I would much rather fix hidden potential. Now, if you're lacking Kais, sure, grab Kais because
I have
you
20
want
Kais.
super there.
Hey,
You have
dude,
20
I have
guys?
2. I
Yep.
have 2.
Damn. Someone
I-
hasn't
I-
been Dokkoning responsibly, I see.
Nope.
All right. Well then.
I
All right,
use
well,
Kai's and Goku Black, for example. I don't care. Just gonna
Farmable super attack Goku Black.
Oh my god, I wasted 20
That's
minutes
right.
of my time.
Spoiler alert, I'll probably use Kai's on him as well, because the drop rate for
Yeah.
that tech-based Goku Black is actually horrendous. So
It's so bad.
Oh, I didn't even bother. Yeah, like
Yeah, no.
I just got the World Tournament Goku Black, the STR one. I actually just rainbowed him on the World Tournament banner, which we're going to talk about World Tournament, but I just used Kai's on him. I didn't want to farm up those
Me
Goku
too.
Blacks. Yep, I
I'm-
used Kai's on him. Yeah.
When he got his
That's-
awakening,
Toon is crying out there somewhere now.
we don't always Dokkan responsibly around here, you know, but so let's talk about the next topic. Now, this is a pretty hot topic. We'll try to keep it brief, but JP just got a new link level event, and I'll just summarize it for everyone in case people aren't familiar. But basically, there is a new stage that you are guaranteed to get a link level. Doesn't matter what level it is. Every unit will guaranteed link level up 1 level on all of their links. It is locked behind keys that do cost money. It costs, I think, about $10-ish to buy all the keys. You get 4 runs, and you can do this once per month. So let's kind of quickly go through the rounds. Just your take on it or whatever you want to say on it. Let's start with Ningen. What are your thoughts on the link level event with the keys?
Gimme. So
That was my tweet. That was my tweet.
Amazing. Give me them on
Amazing.
global bring them to global for the anniversary, and this will be the biggest dub that global has seen in a long time. So yeah, personally, we've all talked about it to death, so I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail, but I think it's a cool idea. Anyone who thinks this is the first time Dokkan has put in some sort of way for you to pay to cut out a certain part of the grind, I guess doesn't play the game. I don't know. If you have an issue with this and you don't have an issue with like the ticket packs that we get on global, where not only do you get a guaranteed featured unit multi, but you also get like skill orbs and stuff that you can't get from anywhere else. Because for me personally, my RNG for my chain battle rewards is awful every single time. I have like no good skill orbs at this point. So I genuinely don't see what the difference is. And one of the major things that sets it apart, I think, for me, if it was the keys on its own, then maybe the discussion would be slightly different. But the keys come with stones, and the packs cost basically what it would cost you to buy the stones in the first place. So if you're someone who spends money on the game and you buy stones, you're basically just getting the keys for free. So yeah, I think it's great. I can't wait for them to come to global. I will buy all 3 packs every month. So yeah, bring it on.
All right, Sunblade, your take.
Okay, so Ningen said the most important things here. I totally agree with him. And there's one more thing. We boot up the game every day, multiple times, especially me. And there's a sentence right at the beginning where like the game says like you can buy stuff to increase the speed of certain things. And I don't know the exact words since I'm playing JP, but you're upset now. Like the game told you this years ago, so I don't know what's going on. And Ningen said the most important part, you're getting stones with it. About 30 stones. So I'm totally fine with this. Everyone should be. Yep, that's it.
Yeah. If you look at the sales in the game, or not the sales, but just the shop, if there's no sales, buying one of the 32 stone packs costs more than buying all of these key packs. So, so yeah, if you buy stones, it's cheaper than buying stones on their own. So,
Well, it is the fact is that free-to-play players cannot experience this right now, and that's why they are mad or disappointed. And I get that. That's okay. I know that they are disappointed, but the packs are fine. It's
yeah.
not a shitty deal. Global has much worse deals at times. So
Yeah, let's not talk about the hidden potential orb packs that are still the same price and are
so
terrible value. Terrible value.
$20, and you can open one of the 4 paths worth of orbs, and that's it. So you'd have to buy 4 of those packs if you wanted to actually rainbow a unit. Like, those are disgraceful. I have never and would be mad at anyone who did ever buy those. They are terrible.
Yeah. And one more thing, I don't know if newer players are listening to this podcast, be smart about those keys. Level up units which have like level 8, level 9 links and not level 1 or level 2s.
Yeah.
Grind them up until the end and then use the keys. That's the smart way.
Yep. That is the way. As the Mandalorian would say, this is the way. Minato, what are your thoughts on the keys?
I'm going to play kind of like a little... I understand why people are upset at it, because they're not upset that it's necessarily like link leveling. They're upset that it's an event that's locked behind a paywall, right? But the thing is that you're looking at it the wrong way, where you're not buying these keys to play any, like, to have fun and play the event for fun. It's a cool, difficult event. This is just a way to progress your characters. It just happens to me that link leveling is only gotten by actually playing an event, right? So that's the reason why it's an event in the first place. Otherwise, it would be like some kind of, I don't know, key you feed into the character. I don't think that this means that... I feel like people are jumping the gun and saying, oh, in the future, what if they lock future red zone stages or whatever into keys or something like that. I think that's different, because that's actual content. This is not actual content. This is just a way to progress your characters. Like Negan said, hidden potential system orbs, equipment. I think they're all the same thing. And secondly, we don't even know. This thing came out like 2 days ago. We have no idea if they're going to make it missions where you can get some for free in the future. And then at that point, this entire thing is really invalidated, right? Because it's like, you got to play it for free anyways. So it's like, we don't know for sure. We have to wait and see, instead of jumping and saying this is the worst thing Dokkan's done. That's my point right there. I think the keys are fine, right? I think the keys are really good, and they're actually really good value. Again, they're not like horribly overpriced. They're essentially the same as, like Negan said, a 30 stone pack for getting 4 runs, basically, just as an addition to it. I think it's good. I really like it. It's like, in my head, you get the 30 stones to link level your character's up, and then you probably have extra left over, and then you use the keys to finish it off. So they basically give you the free link level 10. Instead of using those stones to summon, you could use them to link level the characters, which is what I think they have in mind if you want to get it done really quickly. And I'm sure we all know, if you're an avid link leveler, the pain for having one last level 9 link take like a week to get done, especially as a content creator or something. Goodbye to those days. Thank goodness.
Well, I saw people saying in the discussion, like, if you do link level a lot, you know this experience. It'll have happened to you at least once, I'm sure. But to get a unit's last links from 9 to 10, even if it's more than one, because obviously the key does all of them. So when you get a unit to all of their links are 9 or higher, the key is obviously then going to finish them off. I've had people saying in the comments and stuff, it's like, when a unit gets to all level 9 links, it's taken them like 10 stones worth of stamina refreshes to get all of those links to then get to 10. So this is like, you're buying stones, but then you're also getting the key. Like, it's actually better value than it is spending stones to refresh stamina to keep playing it over and over again. So for people who spend money, they're actually really good value. So
I feel like people that care about link leveling the most to get all those link level 10s are people who spend stones in link level, which are usually paying players, right? I think that free-to-play players shouldn't really use stones to link level like that. I guess the thing I will keep in mind, though, is that this is not related to Dokkan, but Google is going around and stopping you from making out-of-country purchases, right? So I know, like, Grand Cross was hit by this recently. So maybe a thing on JP soon where you won't be able to buy these JP style packs, right? It might matter for global, I guess, but something to keep in mind in JP since we're on that kind of topic about spending players and stuff like that. It could be another topic itself, but just something I wanted to slide in there. If you're a JP player that spends, watch out for that.
Yeah, and I'll jump in here really quick. I just had a couple of quick things I'll say on the keys, but I think there was a good point that there's nothing to say that they won't give these out in the future at some point. Remember, they literally just came out, so they're just kind of testing the water with it. But I think if they say gave some of these out for anniversary, I think all the paying players, they're still going to buy these on top of that and just link level more. And the thing I want to remind free-to-play players that are maybe upset about this, remember, you guys are playing the game completely for free. You get to enjoy this amazing, wonderful game without putting any money in. You're not contributing to the revenue of the game. And this is actually be helpful because it's going to bring in more revenue to help the game do better. And as a free-to-play player, you want the game to do well. You want to let the whales carry the game for you so you can continue to enjoy it for free. So don't be upset about it because you get to play this awesome game completely for free. And once again, they might shoot these keys to you down the road for free anyway. So I think it's a win-win. I don't see any negatives to it. I think it's a complete positive in every aspect. Literally, they're basically adding a $10 a month subscription to me because I'm going to continue to do that. And I'm going to continue to pay my $10 a month or whatever I'm doing for the daily capsule thing that we have on global. I don't think JP has that yet, do they? That daily capsule thing?
Oh, we have
No.
that.
You do have that. Okay. But you
But
did
not-
that first.
Not both packs, only one of them.
Yeah.
Didn't JP get it first, or am I crazy?
No,
No, it was
global had
Global.
that
Global
first.
got it
Glo-
first, right?
Global had it
First,
first.
JP
So,
got
I
it
mean-
like in January, I think. Yeah.
So Dokkan's very clever because they're already doing so well on these big celebrations, well spending a bunch of money, but now they're essentially going to have 2 monthly fees coming from people, and people are going to gladly pay it because they're not that expensive. And that's like $20 a month coming from a ton of the player base. That's guaranteed revenue coming in. Say, even if a banner does bad, like Raditz comes out and is trash, well, hey, we still got all our monthly fees from all these players. Like, this is fantastic for the game. It's fantastic for Dokkan because it's going to thrive past the 9th anniversary, most likely. And it's just going to keep going forever and ever and ever, it seems like. So I think it's all good. All good. Anybody else want to throw in before we move on?
I would say free-to-play players do not miss out on anything. So
Yeah.
nothing
And
has
it's not-
changed for them.
It's not like they're saying you can't link level. You can still do it. It just takes more time. Think of it this way. Pay-to-play players, you're just paying for the convenience of going faster. That's all it is. It's a very common gotcha practice. You pay for that convenience. And the other thing is, I've heard even people say that it's pay to win. What are you paying to win? Dokkan's not PvP. Power level is a thing, but it literally means nothing. Like, you don't get anything for a higher power level. It's literally just a flex. So I'm not going to accept the argument that it's pay to win because there's nothing to win.
Exactly. I'm telling you right now, for people that think that this is pay to win because it's like an unfair advantage or something, to get a guaranteed 1 link level per key. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if your best team in the game only at like level 5 links, you can't beat like the red zone. The problem is not that your units are only level 5 links. Like, you do not have to have full level 10 links units to beat all of the content. You do not have to link level. Obviously, it makes it easier because the units get more powerful, and especially when we're talking about links like Big Bad Bosses, but it's not something you have to do. Like, there are people out there, I'm sure, that have beaten all of the red zone stages who never link level. So it's not something you have to do in order to be able to play the game. So it's just an added bonus, which is what these kind of games do for people that are willing to pay. And like Sunblade said, is literally what it says when you load up the game. It's like there are in-app purchases, and that we won't want to dive down the rabbit hole, but just as an off-the-cuff like mention, there are a lot of gacha games that sell you things to cut down on grind time. And if this is like Dokkan's worst, I mean, all packs are the worst, but if this is the worst that Dokkan is going to do compared to what some of those other games do, then yeah, this is fine.
I've played games where you have to... Go ahead.
Oh, I think I do know. Yeah. Skill issue, I fear.
Skill issue. I mean,
You
if
may
we
be
could go, can we go into the shop and use Dragon Stones to buy skill? Because then we're pay to win. Can we buy skill? I don't know.
You can
about
buy
that.
units.
You can buy units, exactly.
I mean,
all
it's
right.
like gacha games are pay to win. That's the point of it. You spend money to
literally,
win.
yeah, we could
That's how it
we could talk
works.
about this forever because you're
Yeah.
literally arguing the fact that people who spend money can buy more stones so they can pull more dupes for the units, so the game is easier. So yes, literally from the ground up, the game is easier if you spend money. Like, this is nothing new.
Yep. Standard gacha practice. Some gacha games even charge you to do auto battling, which is a basic thing. Like, I've played gachas like that. So there's definitely worse out there. If people remember first anniversary, STR Gogeta's rates were actually secretly lowered on global. That's a pretty dirty thing. So yeah, there's a lot worse out there. But anyways, we're going to keep going forever if I don't move us along. So let's jump into global. Global has anniversary right around the corner. So they want to know which LR should we summon for first, or which one if we could only choose one. So Ningen, you and I are representing global here. So Ningen, if you could only pick one of the new LRs, who would you go for first?
Man, I can't believe we're starting with this topic and not the hype that is the World Tournament. But anyway, yeah, so
No.
the anniversary LRs. I've said this before a few times. People have their favorites. People have the one that they think is better over the other one. I think they're so close that it really doesn't matter. Like, if you think one is better, there's no point arguing. Like, they're both so good. And obviously with Global not having Vegeta and Trunks, like, they're the two best units in the game. It doesn't really matter. I think people like the leader skill for the gods a bit more, and people like the passive for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta a little bit more than the blues, or some people do and some people don't. For me, I think the Super Saiyan 4 banner is better in terms of overall value, because it has more LRs that literally get EZAs during the celebration. But again, everybody's box is different. So if you need more units on one banner, that's probably the one that is the most value. Because again, if you pull one of the two LRs, even if you don't pull the other one, if you pull one of the two and you can build their teams well, you can beat all the red zones. That you don't need to pull both of them. Obviously, that will help because you can run them on each other's teams as well. But it pretty much just comes down to which one is your favorite and why. And if whatever your reason is that it's your favorite, you're probably not wrong. So for me, I'm going to go for the LR Super Saiyan 4s first. And the only reason is literally because I like the form Super Saiyan 4 more than I do God and Blue. So obviously, ideally, I get both, but I'm going for the Super Saiyan 4s first. As a, someone with the box of my caliber, I don't need any of the other units apart from extra copies of the worldwide download celebration units, because Global has to wait, 10 months for them to come back. So they're the only ones I think I actually need dupes for. But yeah, I'm going Team Monkey all the way. So
all right. Well, so for global players, the other thing I'm going to say is don't let the Trunks and Vegeta deter you from summoning on this, because we're not getting them till December. So you're going to be starving for months if you don't get these. These units are going to make the game so much easier for you. I'm kind of in the camp that I like that Super Saiyan 4 is a teeny bit better, and I think their banner is better, so that would be my choice. But if you are a newer player, the gods have a better leader skill, and they're going to help you. They're going to be more open to your limited box selection. So I think that is something to keep in mind. But the general thing with any banner is which one has more units you need. Especially if you're a veteran player, that can be a way to judge it as well. So that's kind of where I stand on that. Minato or Sunblade, do you want to comment on the Super Saiyan 4s or the gods at all? Any advice to global players?
I think you guys kind of covered it. It does depend on how your box looks and what you need. It does depend on which one is your favorite, right? Because they're both pretty even, I'd say, right? They both destroy red zone, so that's a good thing. And really, I would say, if I have to speak from an objective standpoint, the Super Saiyan 4 banner is the more valued banner, just because it has more top tier units, and it actually forms a team for you. The Super Saiyan 4 banner, if you summon on it, you summon and get the GT Heroes team, which is still a very viable team. While it's on the Gods banner, it's kind of like these random units that don't really fit on there, right? Which is something to consider, right? If you summon on the Gods, you're summoning and you don't really get a fully fleshed out team. Well, the Super Saiyan 4 banner gives you that team, right? Or at least the core with the LRs, basically the LR Super Saiyan 4s, right? And that's really not much to add. You guys kind of cover the rest.
Yeah. And other than that, I mean, we're just hyped for anniversary. We'll cover it more as it actually approaches. We are less than a week away. I think
Yep.
I believe Friday is when it starts, and I think the banners are going to drop late Saturday night, maybe early Sunday morning. I think is what we're thinking, right?
Yeah, the
I
banners
think
will
based
be
on the
The 9th, like the 9th, I think
The
is when they're
9th.
going to
yeah,
drop.
based
Yes,
on the
9th.
dates for when they said about the countdown celebration, it's going to
Yep.
be either Thursday or Friday that the anniversary officially starts, and then the banner comes out the day after. So
Yeah. So very, very hyped for that. But what could be more hype than the World Tournament? So Global is playing World Tournament. Ningen, you just got done with a 12-hour stream of the World
did.
Tournament. Your favorite mode. Do you want to give
And
us a little summary of how that went?
I just love it so much. How could I not play it for 12 hours? But no, it was just for the sake of the stream. It was fun. I've said this a million times. I say it on my streams and stuff. Streaming the World Tournament is one of the easier ways to get through the World Tournament because it makes it
Yeah.
feel like less of a grind because you have like, the people in chat to talk to. And people in chat say the same thing. Like they're grinding along as well. So it's a little thing to kind of take your mind off it a little bit. At the end of the day, it's not something that's really that worth doing. I mean, the Teen Go 10 is okay. But obviously nowadays, after they revamped the rewards a little bit, you can do the 23 million points worth of missions and get a guaranteed copy of him. It only takes like, I don't know, depends how quickly you do it and what team you're using. But I was trying to keep an eye on how quickly my points were going up. And over the whole weekend, if you can play it for about 6 hours over the entire weekend, you can get to the 23 million points. But he's not really that worth it. And with any world tournament, the better rewards you only get when you get higher. Like if you want orbs, you have to finish in the top 1,000, which, takes quite a lot of work. And this is right before the anniversary. So a lot of people, if you don't have a lot of stamina, then obviously you can only do so many runs of the world tournament before you have to refresh with a stone. And right before the anniversary, people don't really want to do that. Once you get past a certain threshold where you have a lot of maximum stamina, because I'm a very high rank, so I have like 360 or something. So even when I grind pretty flat out and spend stones, like, a few stones a day to refresh stamina, I normally end up right at the end with a few more stones than I started with. But if you're in a position where that's not going to be the case, especially right before the anniversary, it's really not worth spending your stones and time to grind out what is essentially LR Broly or Cell super attack generator, because basically what the mode is at this point. So,
Yep. Spit out AoE attacks and repeat.
yep.
That's
Don't get
about
hit.
it.
AoE.
Yep.
Repeat. Basically.
This is Ghost Usher's time to shine. This is his event. He's all about it. So yeah, Ningen, you said streaming makes it easier. What makes it easier for me is playing the World Tournament during the Dokkan Battle podcast. I have been doing it this entire time, trying to get up to my insane high score of 23 mil, and I get my 23 mil and I am out. The big thing I've always said about World Tournament, the reward does not justify the grind.
No.
If they really want people to grind, I don't know why people do it or how people do it because it's crazy. But the unit to me isn't worth it. I think eventually they need to start adding EZA medals and start EZAing these units and then make it be like, okay, now we're talking. Now this unit's like a red zone unit. I want to get them, right? Like high school Gohan EZAs and he's a red zone king or something. Like that's what we're talking about. But right now, I'm not grinding for this Teen Go 10 unit. And I mean, I recommend like newer accounts. Like if you can grind to 30, like the Kais are definitely worth it. But I'm sitting around 300 Kais. It's not worth my time. So I go to 23 mil, get my one copy of the unit. Over time, I usually end up rainbowing them at some point. But if you must have the unit rainbow, then sure, grind. But I usually don't think it's worth it for that, right?
Yeah, if you want to rainbow the unit, you have to finish in the top 2,000 because then you get 4 extra copies. And obviously you get your one from the 23 million points, so you can use them to open the paths. But he also doesn't have a farmable super attack, so he's not really a unit that's really worth Kai's either.
Right.
The thing that I don't think I've ever really thought about it this way before, but we were talking about it on the stream. But like, I genuinely do not understand the logic behind the design of this game mode because it's a phone game. What would you say, like, the longest event in the game, and as long as you're not using, like, a really slow stacking team or whatever, the longest event in the game would probably take you 45 minutes to an hour if you're going really slow to complete, whereas, like, a lot of people who play this game, they probably log in, if it's not a new banner day and they're just logging into summon, You log in, you do a couple of events, you do your dailies, maybe you try like that one stage of the red zone that you still haven't beaten, and then an hour later, you're not playing the game anymore. So, who thought it was a good idea to add in a game mode where the only way to finish in the top tiers of the ranking system is to play the game for like 50 hours over the course of 3 days? Like, who thought that was a good idea for a mobile game? I genuinely do not understand the logic behind the design of the World Tournament. It is actually crazy to be, but
when
there
you
you go.
design a game mode that causes people to bot to cheat the game mode, you know it is a bad game mode because
Yep.
people don't want to actually play it. You should
Yep.
design modes that people actually enjoy playing and want to play. Give me co-ops, give me raids, give me something different to replace this or a different way to structure it. But give me something I actually want to play, please. And don't make me have to do it for hours upon hours on end, please.
Yeah.
So
There's
yeah, that's
literally
my...
nothing else in the game that takes this long.
Oh, Vilify, what's a game that has co-op and raids? I don't think that game exists.
I heard that it was bad, LOL.
I mean, I hear that game doesn't know how to run an anniversary properly, so I don't know
True.
if we should bring that game up.
True.
You know, Dokkan knows how to run an anniversary, so I think we're good there. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week, but does anybody else want to chime in on anything before we leave for this week?
I
Give me
don't
your luck.
think so.
Everyone in the comments, give me your luck.
You doing another one?
No,
Yeah.
at least for the future. For the
All
future,
right.
please.
Well, we're all going to put our arms up in the air and we're all going to put our luck out to everybody summoning on the anniversary on Global. Good luck to everyone. I hope all your summons are great. Hopefully, my rank 777 luck gets me through. I'm hoping that that's going to bring me good luck, so we'll see. But that is going to do it for our show today. This has been episode 89 of the Dokkan Battle podcast. My name is Joe Wags. It's been an honor hosting for you today. I would like to thank our guests today. We have the Masked Ningen, Minato, and Sunblade. Also, thanks to Vilify for helping us out behind the scenes. Appreciate everybody catching us and watching this video. Hopefully, we'll catch you guys all on the next one. See you later.